And what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crypto Wolf again. And today we're going to be doing part two of the TradingView breakdown with the different features and parts and menus and all that good stuff. Today we're going to be doing the main chart panel, the actual part of the screen that you care about, where you actually get to see the chart, see the candles, see the magic happen. And that would be this section all the way down here, all the way up the side, not this little side thing, just in here. Basically none of the menus. And obviously, probably used TradingView before. If not, and you're new, this is the chart. That's where you see the price action, you see the candles. And if you saw the previous video, you know we went through all the different time frames and some of these other icons and menus and such. The next video will actually get into the toolbar over here on the side with all the drawing tools. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to make that one short because there's a lot in there and I don't want to dig into like every single tool because those deserve videos of their own. So I'll probably just kind of touch on what, each menu does. But for the charts, let's start off in the top left corner. So we have here where it says the specific chart that we're looking at. This is the asset pairing. In this case, we're looking at Solana. We got Sol over Tether US, which is basically just saying this is Solana asset priced in Tether US or USDT. And we're on the 4-hour chart. And this is specifically the Binance exchange. Obviously, if you have you could have your Coinbase chart, and you'll have a little bit of differences because, depending on the specific exchange, it might go higher or lower. You never know. And then it says Heikinashi right here. And if you turn it on regular candles, it doesn't say it at all. But if you have it on anything but regular candles, it'll show you up there. Brought to you by TradingView. And before I get into those little icons, so this guy right here is an indicator that shows you that trading is currently live. So if you were looking at like Tesla stock, considering it's 10 in the evening where I'm at right now, this would be a red little indicator light saying that the regular trading hours are not open. And then you have these numbers right here that keep flicking around as I'm moving. So you have OHLC and these guys. This is the open price for the specific candle that the cursor is on right now, specifically the vertical dashed line right over the little crosshairs right there. So you keep moving it from one candle to another and you notice the numbers change. So you have the opening price of that candle, you have the high, the low, and the closing price for that candle. Obviously, if you're on the current or anything past it, notice it doesn't change. Closing is basically going to be, what do we got here? The current price, I believe. And then you have this plus minus number and plus minus percentage, which is how much it's gone up or down from the previous candle. So like right here, we got these nice big candles, went down 5.92%. She was a dipping. And then you come down here. Now, these are your currently open indicators. And depending on your subscription to TradingView, maybe you only have 3, maybe you have 5 or unlimited, whatever it might be. Honestly, don't remember how many I can have, but I know it's more than 3. And so we got volume. Got your volume candles down here. Market Cipher A. Shout out to Market Cipher. Greatest indicator in the world. I don't care what nobody else says. It is. It's the shit. Market Cipher A, Market Cipher DBSI. So A is going to be, all your little symbols above. And you got the ribbon going through. Again, I did a little intro on Market Cipher, talked about it. We still got some videos coming up for the various little symbols, but then your DBSI, these little numbers above and below the last, 25 candles or so. Then you get all these little numbers and the not applicable letters, if you will. Oh, so, and with the volume, you could see, tells you what the volume was per that candle. And on Market Cipher A, this is really almost kind of irrelevant. Um, you can see like this yellow one is whatever the value was for this moving average, the 21 moving average, wherever the cursor is at. The rest of it, it's not really saying much. This one right here is the other moving average, but you can hide these. We'll get to that in a second. You know, DBSI, the value on that doesn't really mean much, you know, when you're looking for, you know, these numbers right here. I mean, what the hell is like 126 mean to you? Absolutely nothing. And double click back over here and actually Market Cipher B. Now these numbers are actually a little bit useful. Some of them, yeah, I mean, most of them, but you know, obviously don't worry about all the, you know, not showing ones. And the ones that are in white right here are just these little trigger lines and, you know, dotted lines and such that never change. So don't worry about those. But I guess since we're already talking about it, so the light blue is going to be your light blue wave. Dark blue is going to be the dark blue wave. Yellow is going to be your VWAP. Over here with the purple and the green. Let's see. See, it's green, change to red. These are your RSI values. Those can be useful to watch, especially when like you're getting down right here where they're getting real low. And say you're watching them for them to get real close to zero. Okay, it has its little uses. Oh, got your money flow right over here. And that's about all that matters. So coming back up here, if you go over here, you'll see this flag symbol. And basically what that is, if you're looking at a chart and you want to save it to, you know, you can make watch lists for, you know, red flag, whatever the heck. I think I just called it red flag, but I think there's only one flagged list that you can save. And that's what that does. I'll save it to that list, like a favorites list. Hide hides the actual candles, which is a little weird looking, I admit. Then you got your little menu ellipsis. And this menu right here, this context menu, is the same thing as if you were to right click back here on the background. And reset chart just resets, you know, anything you've drawn on it, takes it back to its stock presentation where, you know, nothing on it. Paste, obviously, if you copied some lines from maybe another chart, you could paste them in here. You wouldn't really want to copy lines, maybe like notes or who knows what. Add alert. Now this will add an alert wherever you click. So it says 124.78. Come up here right around where I right clicked, 124.78. We'll get into alerts in another video. That one's more than, it's not really what we're talking about right now. Now this little trade menu is, you know, obviously sell, buy, limit, stop, yada yada, create new order, trading settings, is related to this trading panel down here where you can set up TradingView to actually, you know, post trades from TradingView itself. You know, doing a video on this lower section of tabs, but just to give you an idea, you know, you connect to one of these brokers and do the damn thing. Come back to the menu here. So lock vertical cursor line by time. Click that. And wherever you right clicked, it's going to lock that. So you can see, regardless where you move this, you're seeing the data from that candle. Also, if you, no, it doesn't do it when you zoom. Okay, we'll get to the zoom in here in a second. Undo that. Object tree just brings up your layers or your levels. Depending on what program you used to use, and some call it layers, some call it levels, whether you've been using Adobe or SolidWorks or, you know, whatever. And you can hide things, lock it, you can organize it, create folders. But again, we'll get into that in a later video when we do the sidebar over here. It just brings that up. Lines. Now this will hide or show certain lines. Like right now, price line is this guy right here. This little dotted green line, which shows the current price. Previous day close price line See, we get a little gray guy right there, which is where we closed the previous day. Go figure. Looks like we're not terribly far from where we were at this time yesterday. And turn that off. We've got pre-post market price line. Not really applicable when you're doing crypto. If you're doing stocks or stonks, sorry, then it can show you the price line from when the market closed or when the market opened, high and low price lines. Now what this is showing, let me scrunch this down here a little bit, your high and your low for all the candles that are currently on the screen. And a lot of these little things work this way where, watch if I drag this further. Oh, now we got a new high that's showing on the screen. So now our high is up here and our low is still down here. Does it have a use? I don't know. You tell me. I'll be honest with you, I never really use it. But if you wanted to know where the all-time high was, you know, if you're zooming out or something like that, to each his own. Next, we have average close price line. Now, let me hide this previous one here. Now, you see this line right here. It is the average closing price of all the candles that are currently on the screen, currently in this window. If I shrink this down, you can see it moves because now the average of all of these candles is right here. And, you know, should you want to say something like that, it'll give you a general idea where, you know, the average has been over X amount of time, whatever you happen to be looking at, especially if you're using these guys down here where it will set the width of the chart to a specific amount of time. And then we got these bid and ask lines, which if you're using TradingView for trading, they can be useful, I guess. I mean, honestly, I'd rather see it in an area that I'm doing orders at, but that's what it is. Hide that again, hide that again. Come down here, color theme, you know, you got your light. I'm not even going to turn it on because it is just blasphemy to be having this thing super bright in my eyes. So I don't suggest doing it if you care about your eyeballs and your vision. You don't want to like get up from 6 hours of watching charts going absolutely ham on the exchange just to get up and be like, ah man, I got a headache. I can't even look at anything. On that note though, for real, like, you know, I've spent years working on computers and things like that, and dark mode is the greatest thing ever. On top of that, I also use the like the blue light filter that comes with the monitors, and if yours doesn't have it, you know, maybe play around with the brightness settings. You do not need to have your damn monitor blasting like the friggin' lights outside of a casino. You know, tone it down. It's, trust me, over time it's gonna mess with your eyes and like give you headaches, especially if you're running these apps that just pitch white giant background. Just I can't even do it anymore, and I don't suggest you either. But save as regular, blah blah blah. Remove drawings gets rid of all your fancy little Leonardo da Vinci stuff you got going on there. Remove indicators, obviously clears off the indicators. Now settings. Come back up to the top here. So these are the chart settings for your nice big chart panel here. And you'll have this show real prices on price scale instead of Heikin-Ashi price. Now, if you know about Heikin-Ashi, you know that it's more of an average, which shows you a nice smoother trend, you know, all green coming up, red coming down, rather than getting all choppy back and forth like that. It's nicer to look at and gives you a closer idea of the actual trend going on. But what you can do, this will actually be off originally. And okay, I'm on the 4 hour, so it's not going to show it as well here. Let's go down to the 5 minute. And look at this. Settings. Nope, not even showing on this one. Well, okay, anyway, so basically what it'll show is when you get, let's say something like this, typically this would be red. And you just see straight red down, straight green up, straight red down, straight green up, a little bit of red, straight green up. And the show real prices on price scale shows the actual price right here. Oh, I'm thinking of something else, sorry. This guy. You'll notice, watch this guy with the red X right here. Red when it's off, green when it's on, up here, green when it's off, red when it's on. And basically this gives you a little bit more like a mixture of a hybrid toward regular candles, but you're still Heikin-Ashi. But it's kind of showing you a little bit more realistically because you look here, you got this big candle coming up, and this one clearly came down a little bit. But even though it's still within the formula of like an uptrend for the average of the Heikin-Ashis, it'll show green here, but if you turn on based on previous close, since it's lower, it'll actually turn it red. Honestly, I never even played with this setting until recently, but I've been leaving it on because it seems like maybe it's a little bit more realistic, especially when you're doing scalping and you're on lower time frames. You know, the Heikin-Ashi can be awkward uh, to place orders and things like that because you're not seeing precisely the exact price at the moment. And so these two kind of come in handy with that one where it shows real price on price scale. This guy, watch 102.5.45. Now 102.49. It's not a terribly high volume at the moment, but it does in fact show the real price here rather than the Heikin-Ashi price with the real price below it. And then these guys right here, candle bodies. Whoop, goodbye. Just shows the outline. Turn the body back on. Giggity. Borders. You can see I kind of changed the colors of the borders a little bit just so it stands out. Gives it a little bit of a shadow kind of thing going on behind it. But turn the borders off like Biden. Oh, sorry. Then you got your wicks. Why in the hell you want to turn the wicks off? I guess I don't know. I can think of a reason, but yeah, I mean, why not take the most data that you can get that you have within reason? So you turn the wicks on, wicks off, and of course you can change the colors. You know, your green candles, red candles. Made the borders just a little bit darker, just so that panache that you got going on there. Last price line is this guy right there. Your current price, basically. Previous day close price line, if you care about such a thing. Kind of interesting right there. Pre-post market price line, not even applicable for what we're doing here with crypto because the market never stops. High and low price lines, same thing that we were looking at before, except you could change the just make them visible over here. Bid and ask lines, and you could change the colors. Adjust data for dividends. I mean, not really applicable if you're doing crypto. Use settlement as close on daily interval. Kind of apply to like the trading. Adjust for contract changes. Session again, trading, pre-post market hours, background. If you want to have like after hours trading prices in there. Precision. Now, especially for crypto, you want to leave this at default because, you know, you have cryptos that are, you know, Satoshis that are 0.00008 something. Obviously, you want that high definition when the prices are that low. Otherwise, you probably just see all zeros. And your time zone, of course, we're over here in Chirac time zone. And no, I'm not really in Chicago, but that's the time zone. I don't know why it just doesn't say central. Now I'll go down to the status line tab. And this guy right here is the status line symbol. Turns that off. Show open market status. Again, that's your nice little indicator light right there that trading is open. OHLC values, again, your open, high, low, close. Gets rid of those guys. Bar change values, your gain loss from previous candle. Shows highs those. Show buy and sell buttons. It's these two guys right here. You know, that's your what do they call that? The split between the two. There we go. Obviously, if you're not trading on here, it's really not of much value. Indicator titles, your market ciphers, your volume, gets rid of those guys. Indicator arguments are just these right here, which typically arguments are values that are passed to like a function, but almost seems like a version number in this case. Don't know, don't care, don't need it. Indicator values. Again, you know, if I could individually control these, I'd probably leave these off and just turn Market Cipher B on. But there is one nice little thing you can do, is you could hide those. Even though it does hide that one there too, but oh well, what you gonna do? So I kind of leave it on and just deal with that annoying long string of numbers. Background. Now this is the actual background right here behind all this stuff. So if you were to drag the chart, you can see it doesn't clash with the numbers there. I think it just naturally came right there, but I don't need it on. I don't really care. And moving on to our next tab, the scales tab. Now these are the scales right here along your X and Y axes. This right here, your horizontal scale is time. Vertical scale is price. Symbol, name, label. This guy right here. A little bit superfluous if you ask me, because it's up here, it's up here. You can even have the big watermark in the background. Symbol, last price. Basically your current price. That one has some value being there. Value according to scale, price, percentage value. You can have it show a percentage. Get to that in a second here. Symbol, previous day close, price label. Again, with the previous day, if you want it. Bid and ask labels. Repost, I don't even know why that's on. High and low price labels. You know, per what's on the screen there. Average indicator name label. Obviously, this one's a bit much, especially when you get down here into Market Cipher B, because you got all these different indicators going on. You know, over here you got your couple moving averages, your 200. Honestly, at a point like that, it's easier just to drag the cursor over and look at what it is on the right when you need it. Indicator last value. Same thing with number. Financials name label isn't really going to pop up here, but it's just another thing you could turn on to show it over on the side. No overlapping labels means if you get a whole bunch from going, especially if you're doing like horizontal rays, it will show the value over here. And if you're zoomed in or zoomed out and they're all kind of overlapping, kind of defeats the purpose because you can't read them. So no overlapping, just stacks them down the side there. Countdown to bar close. That's our little shot clock right there. Tells us when the next candle is going to print. Currency is our USDT up there, or if it were USD or Canada, whatever. Y'all remember Canada, don't you, from that South Park mobile game episode? That's the Canadian Titan. Plus button. I honestly don't even know where the hell this plus button is. So, whatever. Now, this lock price to bar ratio isn't terribly of use when you're just scrolling around, but when you're drawing certain things like a GAN box or a GAN fan, probably both of them, you want to lock the price to the bar ratio. You want to put it to like 1-to-1 ratio. And that way, when you go from your low to your high, and you're drawing this at a precise 45-degree angle, if you really want it to be like a 45-degree angle in relation to the chart, you got to have these scales locked at 1-to-1 ratio. And then you can move this around. You can do your little zoomy, and it will not change that ratio. Like right now, I scrunch it in, this scale got bigger, all that stayed the same, so the ratio is different now. And now it's back. And of course you can set what that is, scale placement, just left, right, blah, blah, blah. Date format, whatever floats your boat. Now going over to the appearance tab, the fun stuff, the artistic expression area. The background, you can have it solid or gradient, just one color, or fade from one color to the other. There's your top color. Holy crap, not doing that again. Too bright. Yeah, keep it dark so things contrast against the background. But then doing the little gradient, it gives a little something something. It's not just plain Jane flat black. Your grid lines, when you start up, you'll probably have these. They'll be kind of faint like that. Obviously you got vertical, horizontal. If you want them to go away, just make the opacity 0. Session breaks. These guys are usually per day. We're on 5 minutes, so it's going to be kind of crazy. Go down to the 1 hour, and you can see 24-hour sections. If you go over to stock market, whether it be Tesla or Apple or blah blah blah, it's going to be each session like open close open close open close. You'll get Friday to Sunday just in the one line. All right, where are we at here? Turn that off. Scales text again. You could change the colors, make it all nifty and fancy. Oh, I kind of like that. Hold up. Nah, too dark. Nah. I'm gonna leave that. I like it. I like it a lot. Scale lines, which is these little border lines right here. Flip that over to true blue. That's actually not bad. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. Crosshair, obviously that's your little cursor, your little crosshair going around there. You can change those from dashed lines to whatever. Although you really wouldn't want like solid lines. If anything, maybe dotted. Watermarks. So that, regardless where you move it, shows you what chart you are on. This can be particularly useful if you're like taking snapshots, screenshots, what have you, doing little recordings, almost kind of like I'm doing right now. If you wanted to be considerate to your audience and make it nice and clear what exactly you're looking at, instead of apparently being an asshole like me, because I honestly forgot about this and didn't really think about it. So if it's something that you want me to put on there so you know what chart we're looking at, I don't know, tell me in the comments. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna keep being an asshole. I mean, I say what chart at the beginning of the video, so I mean, open up your ears. All right, navigation buttons are these guys down here, your plus, minus, zoom, scroll left, scroll right, reset chart. I mean, you got the mouse. What the heck do you need? I mean, you need the mouse to get to those, but if you have the mouse, you can just scroll the chart, without them. So whatever. Pane buttons are these guys over here. Basically just collapse, move pane up. If you got multiples, this one, just put this one ahead of that one. Close it, make it full screen. Yeah. And top margin, 10%, increase your margin, decrease your margin. It's not talking about trading margin. Bottom margin 8, right margin 10. Yeah. Doesn't really matter too much unless you're in auto. I think auto then keeps that margin away. Trading, again, this You know, it comes down to the trading panel. If you're using TradingView to trade, I'm not, I don't know if you are, probably not if you're watching a beginner video, so I'm just going to skip that one. Events. This one, not like, you know, alerts events, but show dividends, splits, and earnings. If you are on like a regular stock, you'll get these little bubbles down here at the bottom that says, you know, especially if you're on a higher chart, like a daily or something, and you got an earnings report coming out, it'll be there on the chart showing when it's coming. A kind of nice thing, you know. Dividends days, all that good stuff. Future economic events, if you've got like a Fed share meeting or, you know, Jerome Powell or no telling Yellen is about to make some announcement or, you know, whatever. Like anybody wants to hear them. Psh. And so that's your chart settings menu. So we took care of this. We took care of this guy here. Oh yeah, add to watch list. Obviously you can add it to a watch list. Add a text note. Come down, you know, you got your indicator pane down here, your scale. Now you got this guy. So this basically displays a range of chart. So click this guy, it'll show you, and you're going to have to snap that. It'll show you 1 day worth of candles. We're down here on the 1 minute. Go to the 5 day. Snap it back. I think it'll automatically snap if you have it on auto, but goes to the 5 minute and it'll show you 5 days worth of chart. Starting to see how this is going here. I hope so. Showing 1 month worth of chart on the 30 minute now. 3 months. 6 months, you know, went from hour to 2 hour. Year to date is going to show you from January 1st to the current date. Big surprise. I know. Try not to spoil it for you. Then 1 year, obviously, is going to show you the last year, 365 days ago, how we're looking. Now, an interesting little thing. You can figure out the rest right there. This guy, you can go to a specific date. Sadly, not into the future, although that would be nice. Come on, TradingView, what are you doing? Come on, let's see the future. What's wrong with you? You have your current date and time zone. And then you got these three. Oh yeah, and another little menu over here, but so we have toggle percentage. Boom. You see we have a 0%, and where it's getting that 0 line from, like if I knew which direction I was trying to go here. So you can see that 0 line keeps moving. If you can't tell by now, it is moving to the close of the candle that is right on the edge of the screen. And it's showing you the percentage gained or lost from that 0 line. So basically the gain or loss of all the candles that are on the screen. And in this case, we're down 16%. Just for poops and giggles. Who the heck said that? Was that like Whoopi said that? That was stupid. Come over here. Now we're looking at the all-time chart. Obviously, our 0 is going to be at the very first little candle. We are up 2,989%. Doesn't seem so bad now, does it? Huh? Yeah. Until you go up here and see, holy crap, we're up 7,600%. Ouch. But in the grand scheme of things, it's only down 61%. Meh. Are you a glass half full or glass half empty kind of guy? Me personally, I'm kind of a half full, but it also helps that my buy price was down here. And that's my, the hodl position. So I'm not sweating it. VWAP's coming up. Although RSI is coming down. Although this guy's kind of clipping. Maybe he'll turn around and we'll see what's up with that money flow. But snap back to a less depressing time frame. Did I say that out loud? Now, I'm locked. But if we were to, oh, and this is in linear scale here, a linear chart, because we're looking at percentage rather than specific price. If we were to turn it back to logarithmic, we lose percentage. And it makes sense because it would take some kind of algorithm to figure out percentages on the fly all the time as the chart moves. And at that point, it makes more sense in a linear scale chart anyways. But we're on logarithmic, and then you can see we're back to our prices. If we flip to auto, it automatically scales the chart to fit all the candles that are on the chart at the moment, plus, you know, a little bit of margin over there. Turn that off. All right, back to log. Back to our little flexi scales. Pop this open a little bit, and that, ladies and germs, is the chart panel. I think we got everything. Oh, come over here. You got some options over here on the scales. You know, again, your auto, lock price, scale price, invert scale. Say you are in a bear market and you're having trouble shorting, and it's just your mind isn't wired to work toward the price coming down, which it could be in some cases. Obviously, it's a little weird with the market cipher because all your symbols are on the bottom and your blood diamonds are going to make things go up. But if it makes it easier on you to trade with things going, you know, up when they're bearish, that's something you can do. You can invert it. I've heard people recommend doing that. You know, logarithmic, index to 100, regular percent, move scale left, labels again, all that stuff we were looking at before, lines we were looking at before, that mystery plus button, I don't know where the hell it is. Time zone, session breaks. Again, doesn't really apply to crypto. And what the heck did I just do? I'm not in Lisbon. So yeah, I think that's about it for today. That is the chart panel. You know, a couple little tips and tricks here. I probably should have stuck them in the beginning, but whatever. I do it enough that you're going to learn it. So obviously, move the mouse wheel down, scrolls out, move the mouse wheel in, scrolls in. I mean, up, scrolls in. But say you want to scroll in over here, and you go trying to zoom in, and it just jumps off the page. Well, isn't that inconvenient? If you hold Control and zoom, it locks the chart wherever this cursor is. And then you can zoom up and magic. Same thing. Hold it, zoom out, stays in place. Even if you came over here, zoom in, goes out to both sides, and this part stays locked. So nice little trick, especially if you're, you know, trying to zoom in on a specific area. The measuring tool, even though we'll get to the toolbar here in the next video, but just real quick, if you come over here, hold the shift key, click, still holding shift, and then you come down here, and it's a shortcut for the measuring tool, and it'll tell you obviously how much change, percentage change, number of bars, you know, how many candles. It'll tell you what amount of time that was, the volume, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, that's it for now. All right, so everybody have a good day. Stay free. let a honk out there for Honkistan, and have a good one.